Hey guys, this is Kyle and Morgan with Frontowards Gamer. We're wrapping up. We're actually here on day 2 of E3. We're going to talk about what we did day 1. So Morgan, what did you do day 1 of E3 on the show floor?
First thing I did was try to get into West Hall and look at just a couple of games. I only got to look at one. There was like an Infinite Runner roguelite sort of thing going on at the Sony booth. Talked to the developer. I think I'm going to try to get a follow-up interview, but then I headed over to Devolver Digital, which is right across the street from us. And
yeah, they have like a huge party going on over there.
yeah, it's just like a barbecue party with trailers surrounding it that have the games in them to set up appointments with. So I got to look at 4 games there. The Talos Principle, Titan Souls, Hotline Miami 2, and Not a Hero. So those were all interesting in their own ways. Titan Souls is my favorite because it's basically old school Zelda plus Dark Souls plus Shadow of the Colossus, where you're a little dude running around. You only fight bosses. Each of them have their very own unique way to kill it. And you only have one arrow. You just fire one arrow, and then you can either reel it in by holding down the attack button, or you have to go pick it up yourself. And it's really hard. It's really tough. You're gonna die a lot, just on like Dark Souls. And they mentioned doing like the bonfire runs, so you're gonna like respawn at a bonfire and then go back. And then the Talos Principle is sort of akin to Myst, only it's not just one island. There's like several islands that you'll be going to solve puzzles and that sort of thing. It's a bit more puzzle-like than that, like a little bit of Portal in there, where you're just sort of setting down turrets and that sort of thing, or like beacons that do things like setting up lasers to where they want to go. It was hard. It was only like a 20-minute demo. It was sort of hard to get the real gist of it. But Hotline Miami 2, they weren't showing anything other than the new level editor that they announced, and that looks pretty cool. We didn't get hands-on with it. He just sort of made a level in front of us, but he sort of laid it out like you would, like sort of drag and dropping rooms and that sort of thing, put down furniture and enemies and that sort of thing. He said you'll be able to make really robust levels in that. He wants it to be advanced enough to where you can recreate the entirety of Hotline Miami 1 in 2. If you want.
And that's because a big part of that is that they're not going to make more Hotline Miami games. So basically, the community now is going to have to take over for Hotline Miami 3 through whatever. Yeah. There's a helicopter flying over. Don't mind that. Cool. So what'd you see after that was Devolver Digital?
Yeah, then I went over to the West Hall again. I got to look at more stuff. I got to play the Sony press conference demo of Little Big Planet 3. Got to play as the bird, so that was pretty great. I played Galaxy Z, which is that like space shooter roguelite thing going on that's sort of based on like Japanese Saturday morning cartoons. That was really fun. That's sort of hard in its own right as well. But it's kind of cool. It's kind of stealthy. Like you're sort of flying around and you like see the enemy's vision cones, so you can sort of avoid them if you want. Going after objectives. That was pretty fun. I got to talk to the co-developer of N++ about N++, and basically she explained that it's not that different from N+, except for the fact that it looks way better. There's 1,000 levels. There's level editor like the first one, and it's really just like a retuning, some new enemies and that sort of stuff. She sort of emphasized that a lot of the reason people didn't play N+ is because it sort of looked boring and sort of had a one-note look. But this is definitely colorful in different ways through and through. He said so.
Cool. Did you see anything else?
I played Road Not Taken.
Yes, and I played that at PAX East. It's like it's kind of like a roguelike puzzle game.
It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny how many of these indie games shown off here are roguelikes.
Yes, yeah, it's a common theme, but it works.
I love them. But yeah, Road Not Taken is a weird game. It's like a match 3 game where you're sort of moving like one space at a time. And the guy who was explaining it to me used Don't Starve as a fucking descriptor, but like it's not really that. You use your energy to pick up objects and then throw them against other objects to make matches of 3, and then the more of that energy you use without successfully making pairs, and when it goes down you die, and then you have to restart and it's sort of random again.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting. Different take on puzzles and roguelikes. Anything else stick out to you, and what was your big game of yesterday in 10 words or less?
Yeah, after all that yesterday, I got to check out Dying Light and Hellraid. Dying Light was awesome. Like I got a 20-minute guided demo of that or so, and that was really, really fun. Like the movement, it just like once you understand it, it's pretty much just sprinting, and one button is your parkour button basically, and that is, it works super well. You can literally climb anything. There's not one thing. Like the guy sort of guided me in a direction, but I tried to sort of do my own thing and climb up any building I wanted. It was totally possible. Like it was really, really cool game.
Cool. Game of E3 Day 1 was?
Either Titan Souls or Dying Light. Probably Dying Light.
Okay. As for me, I hit the Nintendo booth straight away. Played some Super Smash Brothers, which is Super Smash Brothers in HD. It's gorgeous. It runs amazingly well. So really looking forward to that. I also played it on the 3DS. Went through the Smash Run mode, which was interesting. You build up your character by defeating enemies for 5 minutes, and then he throws you into a battle, at least for the demo. So your character plays a little bit differently. It was interesting. The smaller screen was tough. You're going to need to get used to that on the 3DS with Super Smash Brothers, with how crazy the action is. Other games there, Splatoon, which was a big surprise yesterday in the Nintendo Direct, and is really fun. You turn into a squid, you can swim through ink. That's also how you reload. You jump out, you spray ink everywhere, you're trying to coat the floor. Whatever team coats the floor most wins. It was really fun.
Walls too? Was it the walls?
You can paint the walls. I asked. You can paint the walls. They do not count towards your score. Weird. So you paint the walls in order to help your movement, but not to win the game. So that was a strategy I thought I had figured out. It was wrong. Also played Captain Toad. Captain Toad is the Super Mario 3D World Toad levels made into their own game, which is fantastic. That's what everyone was asking for after 3D World, so there you go.
Surprised that they actually listened to that and made an entire game around it.
Yep. I also played two of the three new Miyamoto games, Project Guard and Project Giant Robot. Project Guard is basically a tower defense game. You have 12 cameras. You control, you move, and everyone in the crowd needed to help you figure out where the robots were coming into the maze. So they would shout out, camera 10, switch to that, and you shoot the robots. It was very interesting. There's a lot of multitasking. And Giant Robot is where you build a robot and you knock over other robots. And it was fun. You can build the robot with dozens of parts. Any robot in the game can be rebuilt for you, and you're just trying to knock over other robots. So there, you can punch, and then here comes Morgan again. You can punch and then turn to kind of push them over. It was interesting. It was, obviously it's just a prototype right now, but it could become something cool. Played Battlefield Hardline. It's Battlefield 4 with cops. Slightly different. I don't know. I was not too impressed with Battlefield Hardline.
I have very little interest in actually playing that, but since it's currently available on PS4 just to download if you have Battlefield 4.
Yeah, and I was mad at myself because I waited in line to play it, got out, and I had an invite to the beta, so I could have played it at home. But and anything else I can't think of right now because my brain is muddled with E3 ridiculousness. Ori and the Blind Forest, which looked amazing in the Microsoft conference, and it played amazing. Definitely keep an eye on that. And the last game that I played was called Fru, which flashed on the screen at the Microsoft conference. It's the platformer that uses Kinect, and you essentially reveal parts of the level with your body. And it was 2-player. It was really interesting. I don't like Kinect, and this was a good Kinect game made by a bunch of students from, I think, a Microsoft-sponsored university. So they're working on the IDEAD Xbox program. So you basically, like, if Morgan and I were playing, he would be revealing part of the level, I would be revealing a different part. So to get his character over here, we may need to switch spots and hold something so that he doesn't fall, and then he can walk over here.
Do characters automatically jump to platforms once you reveal them, or do you
No, you control them. So it was definitely interesting, and we would forget. I would get onto a platform and forget, and I would move, and my character would fall. So very interesting. Keep an eye on Fru, Ori and the Blind Forest, and Splatoon. Anything else for E3 Day 1 wrap-up?
Cyber League V3 is okay.
What's that?
Sniper Elite V3 is okay.
It's okay. All right. Well, that concludes our day 1 wrap up. We're about to head in to start day 2. Thank you.